Do you want to become a U.S. diplomat? The FSOT is your first step, but most people fail because they don't master their personal narratives. In this video, I'll share with you how to craft your winning story that sets you apart.
What part of the Foreign Service Officer test right now are you having any difficulties in right now?
I think maybe the easier part, like the grammar.
Okay, so English expression.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna work on that a bit tonight as well. Corinne, I see that you were able to get on. Just asking before we dive too deep in, what part of the Foreign Service Officer test are you having any difficulties on?
I'm gonna be honest. I need to get a little more serious of this and organize myself better so I can really see where I can benefit the most from these meetings.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. I definitely identify with that, in my own practices.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
lately with all the new development, it was just a bit discouraging. So, but better be prepared for when the opportunity knocks at the door, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I've had a conversation with diplomats, and they're pretty much all saying the same thing: is that the best thing we can do right now is just prepare
Mhm.
for the next session, prepare for the future, take every opportunity right now to just improve our overall profiles when it comes to our personal narratives. Even if you haven't had an opportunity to improve on a language or start a new language, you can do that. But there's definitely an opportunity right now to just take advantage of having a total essentially of 6 months to prepare.
Right.
So, because the next one is June session, which is May 31st is the next session. I see that sorry, I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. Sadia, thank you so much.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay. I haven't started the whole thing there because political issues that coming around. Little bit afraid, what's going to happen, all that stuff. So, the next exam, like you said, is in May. You say?
yeah, you can just say June, but it opens up May 31st. You can actually start registering for it next month on tax day, so April 15th.
Oh, April
Yeah.
5th. Okay. So we have to. How many questions are there about approximately for the exam?
That's a good question. I feel like I should know that. I don't know if it's different every year or not, or every test, but I took the test last year and I was able to, well, I realized I needed to work on the speed of how quickly I take the test. But each section is timed. So regardless, so each, and also each one you get correct is a point towards your overall score. So I will find out, how many questions it is per section and let you know. In fact, I maybe look it up tonight. Um, and and just so you know what we do actually have an agenda for tonight, we're gonna go over the personal narratives and just making sure that we're understanding the structure of the FSOT overall. But we're going to spend quite a bit of time on personal narratives because I know oftentimes English expression, as Issa was saying, which I think he had to hop off for now, but he'll get the recording. English expression sometimes can be a little difficult, especially when if English may or may not be your first language. I know I've been speaking English all my life, and I have 6 books published, and I'm still working on my English. So it's no thing of who's more right, but it's more so just how can we improve every day.
Okay. Thank you.
So
So you did send us the link for studying, right? Which link we have to study or anything? The exam is online, am I right?
yeah, the exam was online. In fact, that's a good idea. What I'll do is I will resend the link, and I'll either drop it in the group. Actually, I think I'll do that. I'll drop it in the group, and also I'll drop it here in the chat for personal narratives, just so you can quickly get it. one quick moment. Good to see you, David, Nathan.
Hey, good to be here.
Absolutely. How was your week?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Get any writing done?
I did. Yeah, I did.
All right. All right. You mind if I share the challenge
The
with
what?
everyone? You mind if I share the challenge I extended to you with everyone?
Yeah, yeah.
So here in the FSOT study group, future diplomats is what I'm calling everyone, because that's what we are. And every single person here has a heart of service. Every single person that watches and clicks the link or even joins the group not only has a heart to serve, but also to support and help. And everyone essentially has the same goal, and that's to become a diplomat, U.S. Diplomat. And one thing I definitely appreciate about those who are transparent and looking to show, what vulnerabilities they may have is learning how we may need to grow or focus on when it comes to studying. Nathan, up until now, has not, up until now, or up until this week, I should say, he has not completed his personal narratives, any of them. So I did extend just a simple challenge of writing 4 sentences, because typically that's what a personal narrative is, 4 to 5 sentences. It's basically just a paragraph. And the link that I'm going to concentrate on getting to you is going to show you not only how to craft that paragraph, but also what the paragraphs or what the personal narratives are going to be about. So we're going to, in fact, can you email me, Nathan, your personal narrative, and I'll display it?
Yeah, no problem. Just give me a second to do that.
Not a problem. So again, today we're going to be talking about personal narratives. If you're new to this group, I am Travis. I am a future diplomat. I'm just like you. I am looking to join. Send the link to WhatsApp. Yeah, I'm trying my best to find it. Actually, I feel like there's so many links. I pinned it last time. But yeah, essentially my goal is, and I'm sorry, I was just reading the note there about sending the link. Essentially, I'm preparing to send the personal narrative support guide. I'm just going to get it from the computer, because that's I created it here, so just for some reason it's I'm just not finding it. Okay, there it is. Thank you. Copy and paste the link. Copy link. All right. First, I'm going to drop it here. And if you are not with us live, that link will also be down in the description on YouTube. Okay, there it is. I just dropped it there, so you should be able to open it. And I'm going to open it as well as we go through it. And then we're going to use a personal narrative from our fellow future diplomat here, Nathan. And I did challenge him to construct a leadership personal narrative for context. And as he is getting that to me, and I want to say that I asked him to send it to my personal email, because I gave him my personal email address. And if any of you want to send me a personal narrative, you can. I'm more than happy to read it and review it. And I will say, out of respect, Nathan, if you do not want me to read this publicly and offer any advice, I will do it off camera if that's what you prefer.
Oh, that's no problem. I don't mind.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have opened my email, so I'll wait for that to come in. Hasn't come in just yet. Let me know when you sent it. Have you sent it yet?
I just sent it.
You just sent it. Okay. Yep, it went straight to junk email, like I assumed it might. Everything's been going there here recently. Oh, ooh, I like it. I like it. Did it for me. You broke it down. Okay, so before we do that, I'm going to share my screen and make sure that it actually makes sense what I'm going to be sharing with you. So I do extend this challenge to you that are also on the call to improve your personal narratives or create your personal narratives for the first time. It's just a few sentences, you know. It is an opportunity right now, especially since the February date for the test has been postponed. So this is an opportunity for us to improve our personal narratives. Even if you've taken the test 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, this is an opportunity to just make it better, make it more concise. All right, let me share my screen. And if you haven't received the link, just let me know. But it is in the comments here. Share that window. Thank you kindly. All right, make it big enough. 200. Okay. So essentially with the personal narratives, it's telling your unique story. No two stories are the same, right? And essentially, and that's what they're looking for, because no two people are the same. They're looking for people who bring something unique to the table. If you feel like, your story is just like everyone else's, I promise you it's not. Where you come from, how you do what you do, and overall your history creates a very unique future for the Department of State. And you becoming an FSO or foreign service officer or a foreign service specialist, that and especially with the different cones and different types of jobs, it offers just a unique perspective that essentially they appreciate. I've been communicating a lot here, or a lot more, I should say, recently with the diplomat in residence in Atlanta. He does a lot of in-person events. Andre is his name, and I've been chatting him on LinkedIn. If you have an opportunity to connect with your diplomat in residence, you can find them on LinkedIn, and they typically do respond. If not same day, same week for sure. And just be patient, because just imagine it's you and probably 30 to 50 other people who are actually taking this serious. There's a lot of people who do not take this serious, and there's a lot of people who have, and I'm going to use the wording, who have real lives outside of this testing, that feels like, man, when is this going to happen? This process can take 18 months. I don't know when, this can ever happen for me. I can tell you right now that since I joined this group on day one, both groups, that there's people who started the same time I did, as far as in the group. I'm not saying they started the process, but they started the group the same time I did. And there's been several people who have gone on to their first day of becoming a diplomat, which used to be called A100. So they've gone on to other countries, and they've been checking in with me every so often, but they're very busy right now. So I haven't heard from them in really since Christmas. But yeah, a lot of people, well, some people have actually gone on. So it's exciting that some of the people that you're actually studying with and asking questions and being fully transparent with, they're going to be your future coworkers one day. So essentially, we're using the STAR-L method just as a quick reminder, because we have gone over the personal narrative structure before. And if you are, not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I do have full videos up there. But this is your opportunity, since you're here live, to ask questions. So if you want to ask, direct questions, I can help you with that. You want to ask your other guests here and students here some questions, we can definitely do that too. But either way, this is an opportunity to actually take advantage of that. In fact, before I jump into this, has everyone on this call selected the cone or the job type that they're interested in so far? I know for me, just to kind of make it make sense, I know that I'm interested in managerial because I've been in HR for 12 years now. And overall, I've circled the HR desk from HR sales, HR generalist, HR manager. I've circled that desk so many times. So I know each side of it, even when it comes to organizing and paperwork, administration, people, just making sure that I am a resource to people. I'm a people resource person. So there's a lot that comes with that. And essentially every job, almost every job has a little bit of that aspect. But I wanted to choose management because I feel like I'll be stronger in that space. You can just come off mute since it's just a few of us if you choose to, or just put it in the chat and I'll read it. Which cone have you chosen so far? So that way you can also see with your other people up here that you may actually have something in common, beyond just the general scope of becoming a diplomat and becoming FSO. You may actually have something in common with the actual cone that you've chosen. I give you just about 10 seconds to do that.
I have not decided anything yet. I want to take for one exam, but right now, I don't know what kind of exam I'm going to sit for.
Okay.
I had an accident last July. I broke my spine,
Oh, okay.
so I'm still under recovery. The doctors told me it would take me 2 years to release from the pain. Actually, I'm going through pain. So that's it. I don't know how am I going to do my studies. I haven't started anything yet. So that's it.
Well, it seems like you're in good company because a lot of people are, some people have time, some people don't have as much time. So I mean, the fact that you're still healing, that's an opportunity for you as well to study. So
Yes, that's why I was asking you for the link. So if I can, this is Ramadan month, so it will be ends by 31st of March. So
okay,
after that, I want to start studying so that I can do the exam in May or June.
okay.
Uh,
And
but
which
then
link are you asking for? I just want to make sure I'm providing you the right link. Which link are you asking for?
for the exam link, where the question
Oh,
is where I can retrieve everything.
yeah. Here,
There was a link previously. Where they ask you, they send you a link for the question to practice on about 400 question of 300, 400 or 500 questions to practice
oh,
on and on
yeah. You're looking
YouTube.
for the practice test.
Yes, so I can practice and practice and practice until I know that I have confidence.
Gotcha.
That means I can close my eyes and answer it. And that's that's also another problem is that I got to send them a letter or something like that I need accommodation for my exam timing because I broke my right hand. I'm a right-handed. I also broke my hand. It's healed,
Oh
but
wow.
I still going for occupational therapy because I don't have strength to carry it, but I can't hold on the mouse too long. So I
Oh
will
wow.
get cramp. I will get cramp nowadays. I don't know why, but I had previously carpal tunnel, but then this accident caused me a lot of problem also. The
I'm
hand
sorry to hear
starts
that.
numb. No, it's okay. I'm strong enough. I'm not sitting down and crying. I still have some dishes to wash, cleaning up, and my too bad. I just moved into to another apartment because I was moving to another state when I got the accident.
Okay.
So
And then that's when yeah,
I came
wow.
back. I came back to New York because I was going to from New York to Iowa, and then I got an accident in Pennsylvania. So 9 days, 8 days 8 days in a hospital in Pennsylvania, surgery, everything. Within 9 days, I moved back to in New York to a friend's place. I was staying in
Okay.
basement, and then now February 1st, I moved to another apartment in Flushing. Thank God, it's clean, brand new, everything is good. But unpacking wasn't that easy for me because I can't carry anything heavy.
Well, good news is I did share the link in the chat, and I will also share the same link in the WhatsApp chat as well. So just in case you don't get it here, earlier, about 10 minutes ago, I shared the link for the personal narrative personal narrative document that I created. So, which is also what we're going to be going over here in a moment. So that link that you asked for the practice test is there. And I did include a second one, which is actually from a book that I have that I haven't had a chance to test it out, but it looks like it's the same company. So it should be the same website, same practice test that I've taken on paper. So that should help you right there.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hey, no problem. That's what we're doing. That's what we're here. And I'll make sure to.
Which country are you planning to move?
There's several countries that I'm interested in, and there's about 5 that I wouldn't mind going to. So I would say and you know what? Until now, I was sure. But yeah, I would say there's at least 5 to 8 that I'm interested in. But we'll go over those on another day. I will say one of those is that I'm interested in is Nigeria, which is one of where another person who was in the group is now. I'm also interested in South Africa. I'm also interested in South America. I'm also interested in Belize. So I'm interested in South Korea. I'm interested in China. I'm interested in several. Which I am learning Hangul, which is Korean. So, but yeah, I'm trying to learn a lot, including Spanish. My wife speaks Spanish fluently. My daughter speaks more Spanish than I do, and she's turning 2 in a few weeks. So I'm trying to keep up with them. I feel left out of conversation half the time. So yeah, it's okay. What about you? Have you decided?
Yes, I'm thinking of Asian because I speak Malay, Tamil, Malayalam, and English, and I
Wow.
do learn Spanish, but I don't that fluent because I lost my contact with some Spanish friends. We know Spanish, so I do know a little bit of Mandarin because I'm from Singapore myself.
Singapore.
So yes, I'm from Singapore myself. So I don't know. Maybe I will go back to Singapore if they offer me, if they have some that or Malaysia or Indonesia or India. So India is not a problem for me because I can speak Hindi a little bit and I can understand. Yes, I can understand Hindi very well. So it's not a problem.
I wouldn't mind learning that language as well. I know a lot of being in tech, human resources technology. I've had a chance to meet a lot of people who are Indian. So and they speak my language, but I want to be able to speak theirs. I think it was Nelson Mandela that said that if you speak a language that someone understands, they will hear you with their mind. But if you speak their language, then they hear you with their heart. I think that's roughly.
Yes. That's like you say. To get into a man's heart is from the food. So
Exactly.
so the same thing for language. Yes. If
All right.
you
Mhm.
yeah, tell me if you know their language, you really touch their heart. They will really open arm for you. That's true.
I love that. Here, let's quickly go through these career tracks. So if you haven't had an opportunity to choose one, and then we'll go into the personal narratives, the structure, and then we'll actually read a real personal narrative, thanks to Nathan. So we'll look at a practice one and then a draft. I would say a first draft. All right. So the 5 career tracks are consular office, which is where you get your passport from. Let me see. There we go. I just ordered mine online. So this is my old one actually. So I'm waiting for it to come into the mail. I did it completely virtual. So they're going to mail it to me in a few weeks. It was a pretty smooth process, but the consular office, there's a lot that they do. And essentially the work that happens completely with the state, make sure that the world is open for us to travel and people to travel to us. But economic officers, management officers, as I spoke of earlier, political officers, public diplomacy officers. Those are the 5 tracks that are being mentioned here. Now, to go deeper, which is going to relate to exactly with what we're talking about today, which is the personal narratives. Everything is pretty much divided up into dimensions. When I say everything, the entire test, and especially the writing portions of it, without overthinking it, these dimensions, it's not that you need to choose one. You more so you need to kind of encompass all of them, and more than likely you already do. So Foreign Service Officer and Specialist attributes, these are traits that when you're writing your personal narrative, it helps to keep these in mind, because these are the traits or the attributes that they're looking for. So critical thinking, cultural adaptability, experience and motivation, information and integration and analysis, leadership, negotiation, objectivity, integrity, planning and organizing, presentation skills, teamwork, written communication. These are the dimensions of every single job, every single career, every single embassy, every single consulate that is in the Foreign Service in the Department of State. So you need to be able to have written communication, not only verbal, be able to play on the team, and work in a team, be able to present, plan, organize, be objective, have integrity, negotiation, present leadership. It doesn't mean that you'll be at the top of the chain. It doesn't matter if you're the ambassador or the chief of mission. Everyone is a leader of their own device. So you can be a leader of data. You can be a leader of process. You can be a leader of people. You can be a leader of assets. There's so many ways you can be a manager or a leader in this space: information integrity, analysis, experience, motivation, cultural adaptability, critical thinking. And as you're thinking about these different traits, you will notice that it looks very similar to the prompts. And the actual prompts that they're looking for when you're writing and you go into the USA Jobs to actually apply for the job for the first time or the next time, you will notice that when it comes to, after you submit your resume and now it's time to actually do your personal narratives, or if you're smart about it, you can do them now and then upload them or copy and paste them when you get there. But you'll notice that the questions are very similar to the dimensions. Leadership experience, discuss the situation when you led a team. And these questions vary, but essentially, this is the main thing here in bold. Like, this is, it varies. It can vary every session. It can vary every year, but this is essentially your story when it comes to leadership, your story when it comes to interpersonal skills, your story when it comes to communication skills. So discuss the situation where you led a team, managed a project, or demonstrated leadership skills. And it's going to be the one we're going to read from Nathan today. Interpersonal skills, and describe an instance where you had to use your interpersonal skills to resolve a conflict, build consensus, and manage relationships effectively in a multicultural environment. Communication skills, and I'll let you read the rest of them as you do have the link. Just so I'm managing and budgeting and essentially leading my time in this project, because we have 15 minutes left, and I want to make sure I'm respecting your time here today. So this guide that I created, a lot of people have a hard time when it comes to thinking, well, how am I special, or what project should I write about? There's so many different things. So you don't have to only use your work life. You can use your personal life. Think about a time when you led a project. It could be when you planned your wedding, your birthday party, someone else's birthday party. It can really be any of those things. What they're looking for is, how do you communicate on paper? And do you have leadership skills? It doesn't matter what you led, because 10 times out of 10, there's nothing you've done that's exactly what you're going to do. So you're going to get the exact experience when you actually start working there. They just want to see, do you understand the job? And do you understand transferable skills? And can you communicate it? So you can use this to help write out some different projects or responsibilities, challenges, and you can extract and use this to help. And this is 3 different questions, but it will give you 30 different options for writing your personal narratives, which is great. So the roadblock is smashed through. And when you're writing it, you want to use the STAR-L method. That's what they're looking for. You do not want to communicate. And if you notice so far, and I'm trying my hardest, it doesn't matter how many books, it doesn't matter that I'm an Amazon best-selling author. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. If I can't keep your attention, I'm teaching you, it doesn't matter. So I've been actually trying to use the STAR-L method and explaining different things. So I'm constantly trying to improve. And this is my way of actually showing you that I'm really just like you. It doesn't matter. Like, I was talking to someone and they were, I think they work for the government right now. And they work in the capacities very similar to this, but not the exact same. And they're getting a lot from these sessions, and I hope you do too. So it just bring your hosts up to the sessions, but you can use the STAR-L method. I'm constantly challenging myself to improve because I have a ways to go. Yes, my personal, like my profile, generally did look good with my personal narratives, but I just want to show up, as best as I can. So the STAR method is situation, task, action, results, and learning. What was the situation? What was the task? What action did you take? What was the result? And what did you learn from it? So we actually went over this one in the previous video, so we'll look at a different one. Oh, actually, I think we only used one person's story, but we did leadership. So we'll look at management this time. But we're gonna go over leadership when it comes to Nathan's. So to answer the question when it comes to management skills, and this is essentially extracting from this person's story, Marcus Langford, extracting this story into each personal narrative, into a leadership narrative, into personal narrative, communications narrative, management, analytical. So actually, I want to go with analytical this time. A rise in guest complaints about check-in delays signaled an operational issue. I analyzed the data and identified a bottleneck in room turnover due to inefficient scheduling. Working with IT, I implemented a dynamic room assignment system, excuse me, reducing delays by 35% and improving satisfaction scores. My ability to assess complex problems, leverage data, and implement strategic solutions mirrors the analytical skills needed to navigate global diplomatic challenges. You notice the kind of the recap at the end, right? What did you learn? And breaking that down, and we're going to analytical, this is exactly what it looks like. And future diplomat Nathan pretty much did the same thing. So I can't wait to get to his right after this. So breaking it down to situation. What's the situation? The guest complaints about check-in delays at Hilton were increasing, impacting satisfaction scores. What was the task? I had to identify the root cause and implement an efficient solution to streamline the check-in process. What was the action? I analyzed data from our property management system and identified a bottleneck in room readiness. I worked with IT to implement a dynamic scheduling model prioritizing room turnover based on arrival patterns. Well, what was the result? Check-in delays were reduced by 35%. It sounds like a job interview, right? Check-in delays were reduced by 35%, leading to improved guest satisfaction scores and more efficient operations. And what did you learn? This is the recap. I was thinking of a phrase just then that they use in sales, is more so in presentations. When you're doing presentations, they say, tell them what you're telling them, tell them what you told them, and like some other phrase. I don't know if you heard it, just you can drop it in the chat or the comments, but it's pretty much that. It's like, well, now recap it for them so that they fully are confident that what you're saying to them actually matches the question that is being asked. I learned that data-driven decision making is essential in resolving operational efficiencies. An approach that would be valuable in diplomatic roles where policy analysis and problem solving are crucial. Now, if you're watching this next week, and this goes for you too, Kareem, I would love to see it if you can. Management or communication. Use the link. I would like to see if you can compose a paragraph, essentially a personal narrative when it comes to management or analytical. If you can. No pressure. All right. Sounds good.
I will do that. That will be a step.
You can do well. I know. Saadi, I'm so sorry.
Sadia.
Sadia, thank you. See, teamwork. There we go. And you can do the same thing using this. Describe the challenge. It's giving you prompts. You can actually do it the same way. All right. Now let's go to, let me see, Nathan's. Where are we? Nate's personal narratives. Can we make this bigger? Pretty small on the screen. Can I not make this bigger? Okay. I'll copy it. Oops. And I'll paste it and we'll read it. Let's see. I'll just use a Google Doc. Give me a blank one. Drop it in there. Okay. Now make that big. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so this is a real personal narrative. And this is a first draft. So be kind, be respectful, be gentle, and be a teammate, right? Situation.
Oh, I can. So for the persona kind of part of it, right now I'm the food ministry director at my church. So I handle anything that has to do with food over there. The food outreaches, bringing in, taking donations, everything that goes with that. And so I wrote this personal narrative based on what it was like when I took over the program after the last director left.
Okay. Very good insight there. And do you have, and of course, this is the broken down version, and I guess I could just remove each one just for us to read, but
it's at the
is it about? It's the same thing.
Yes.
Okay. At the reform. Yep, sure is. This man is on it. Go for it, man. All right. Do you wanna read it?
Sure.
Okay.
After the former director left, I was asked to take over the disorganized and inefficient food programs at my church. I inherited a chaotic system with little guidance and multiple responsibilities, including managing weekly food outreach, pickups from food banks, and ensuring compliance with regulations. My task was to stabilize the programs, meet legal standards, and improve efficiency and impact for both volunteers and the community. I began by assessing existing operations and familiarizing myself with the entire food distribution process, from safety protocols to logistics. I streamlined paperwork, optimized volunteer roles, increased food donations, promoted the program, tracked recipients, and improved the distribution flow. Under my leadership, the food ministry became more organized, efficient, and impactful, serving more people with smoother operations and less volunteer workload, all while maintaining compliance and high-quality service. This experience taught me that leadership requires patience, boldness, and gentleness. I learned how to manage volunteers, trust my instincts in creating efficient systems, prioritize tasks, and communicate effectively to meet community needs.
Thank you, thank you. Let's give him a hand clap if you can. That is, I really appreciate you being vulnerable to share that. I do have some feedback, and it looks like we have one hand raised. So we understand that the personal narrative needs to be under 1,300 characters. And right now it is displaying 1,200 characters, which is great. It's under it. I will say that the way, because it's when you're actually writing a personal narrative, it's not going to look, you're not going to submit it like this, right? It's going to look more, it'll look more like this. This is actually the personal narrative here. Let me zoom out a bit. So this is the personal narrative, which he has listed as refined. And just to make it on one page, to me, this is a really great length when it comes to a personal narrative, because it adds texture to the story. It fills in the gap mentally, so you don't have to really guess so much about, well, what was the problem? What did he fix? It really has all of those components. And yes, I'm a sucker for structure. So the fact that it's listed here, you can't help but identify exactly the components of it. Now, I will say this as general advice for everyone. Yes, you can use for your own improvement things like Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT. You can use those to improve your writing, not to completely write it, right? But there is a part of the test, which is at the very end, which they're going to give you an essay, and there is no components where you can actually introduce anything that's like it. So that advice is basically saying, if your personal narrative reads this way and your essay reads, here a little slightly, it's not as elevated as your personal narrative, because you were able to use ChatGPT. Over time, try to find ways, because when you submit your personal narrative, you have time, right? You submit your personal narrative, the registration opens, for example, April 15th. When it comes to this June session, May 31st is the first date that you can take the test for this upcoming session. So you submit it on April 15th, you're going to put in your personal narrative on April 15th. Boom. Now you have until May 31st, if that's the date you're going to test, to actually start working and making sure that you can at least make sure it's comparable how you're going to write your essay. That's my advice, because what I hear is that they can tell the difference between how you start and how you finish. All right. We had a hand up. What's your question or statement? Okay. All right. So good job. That's my general feedback is just because it looks good. I can tell that it was probably put through a chat model, or a learning language model. But overall, the story makes sense. It's well placed. It's well structured, and it tells a very concise story. And on top of that, this learning, that's really the recap of the entire section. So good job to you, Nathan. So this is good. If you want to continue doing one personal narrative per week or every other week, obviously you'll be ahead of the game, especially when it comes to applying for the June session. Well, technically next month, April 15th. because that's when you'll need to apply. So that is that's Nathan Garcia, everybody. Thank you. So
Thanks.
yeah, man, yeah, that was good. Did you experience any challenges with composing it?
Yeah. So basically, my process was I had this idea of what I wanted to write about. And so I started by just kind of brain dumping, writing out everything that was in my head, obviously
Okay.
much longer than 1,300 characters. And from there, I condensed it down. I used ChatGPT to help me organize it a little bit more. And something I did notice that was a challenge was that there was a lot of overlap. And so, especially like management, because, leadership and management, those lots of times go hand in hand. Same with communications. And so it was a challenge thinking of how I can make it specifically show that leadership versus the other ones. And of course, just there's so much that I want to say, and choosing which points I'm going to say to still get my point across. Because I could, I think anybody can just write on and on and on about their stories.
Yeah, I mean, some people can't. I think a lot of people actually have a hard time like telling. A lot of people like to tell their story, but I think a lot of people have a hard time actually composing. Well, what is my story? What do I say? After, like, people love to say it, but what do I say?
Mhm.
And it's so funny you said that, because I remember when I composed my first personal narrative, even my third one, they overlapped, because for the exact same reasons you said. I mean, even using this worksheet, there's 30 different examples that you can come up with, and then you start extracting leadership and management and communication skills. More than likely, at least how it was with mine, and it sounds like, for yours, that context just started overlapping because, well, I had to use communication skills to manage and lead. And especially if your role is mainly communicating, like if you're in the human resources capacity. So, or you had to analyze data. I mean, there's so many different ways that can overlap. But this also challenges you because, let's say you get the job, and now you're challenged, critical thinking. Now you're actually challenged when it comes to, all right, the DCM or the deputy chief of mission, or anyone that's in the embassy needs to know somewhat a recap of what that meeting was that they missed, or you were in the field, or you were having a conversation, whatever your job capacity is, and they're going to depend on you to give them a 20-second or less, an elevator pitch of what happened. Okay, you can write it, great if they ask for that. You can speak it, great if they ask for that. But ultimately, can you not waste space when it comes to digital real estate, or that white paper, is as far as if you're gonna write it or if you're gonna communicate it. So I think that critical thinking component of it is going to challenge you to, like, well, how do I not overlap and just pretty much just keep telling the same story? Well, they want to know this, they want to know that, they want to know who's there. Okay, can I say all this in 3 sentences? There's a book that we're going to go over in a few weeks. When I say go over, I'm going to share some highlights from it. It's on Amazon, and I'll share it in the chat later. But essentially, it's real diplomatic scenarios that have happened in real embassies, and I forgot how many of them are, but I want to read, share some of those, because I think, although I think last year we did like an exercise, I'm going to say, where we gave a scenario and we had people kind of express and communicate using these skills that we worked on. It was very fun, in my opinion. I'm probably a little nerdy about it, but we did this exercise, and people were able to represent the home country, the foreign country, and a third country, and negotiate. And it was really cool. So I think, again, just as it relates to if you're in the embassy, you have the job, how do you communicate? Well, let's see what the standard is. So when I get that book, I'll read through it and I'll share some parts of it. Can you send me who I can email to apply for a combination? It's Pearson View. That's actually who you take the test with. So they give you options for a combination. It's amazing the things you forget, like until you remember. I remember reading that FSOT accommodations. But yeah, it's going to be Pearson. Yep, there it is. A Pearson View right over the top. Accommodations process. Here, I'm going to drop this link right here. And if anyone else needs it, it'll be there for you too. And it's a pleasure to meet you too. And thank you for your patience. Thank you again for joining. We're going to do this every Sunday. I'm going to make sure that I can get the invitations out sooner so you don't have to not show up on time because of me. And if it's because of you, then you'll also have the link like everyone else. But if that is all, I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate teaming up with you. I can't wait to partner with you and call you future diplomats when we start working together.
Thank you so much, Travis.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you, Travis.
Hey, you too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining again.
So I see you next week.
I see you next week
7, right?
at 7. Yep, Eastern Standard Time. Just like
Okay.
in New York, right? 7 o'clock.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I'll see you then.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Travis. I'll catch you later.
Hey, man, you did great. You did
Appreciate
great. Let me pause the recording. But yeah, that ChatGPT definitely helps a lot.